know that, you know. So there's something wrong that them turn the masses of the people away from themselves. And that is what really what we did want to talk about, what we did talk about now. How we relate history to ourselves. Because you have, I will repeat again, you have teachers in Jamaica that don't know no history before slavery happened. Them don't know nothing about Africa, or I should not take it back, you know. Them know about Africa before slavery, but them don't connect it with Africa. And that is the argument that I really want to bring forth to the Jamaican public, the Jamaican people, the Jamaican students and the Jamaican teacher, that when you start to talk about black history, you start to tell people, say, we came here as slaves. Right away, you put a certain complex subliminally in their mind. Black people came here as slaves. The only set of people that came here as slaves was black people. Indian came here as indentured laborers. There's a difference between indentured laborers and slaves. There's a difference between indentured laborers and slaves. So if the masses of the people came and become slaves here, that means that we are at the lowest level of the society. And if there is no connection between something that is good or developed or developing for these former slaves to hold on to, but the continuous pressure of, yes, we were slave, and yes, you know, say black people can't run no business, and yes, black people head picky, and yes, your ear no good, and yes, you're too black and ugly. There is going to be a society that have no confidence in themselves. And that is what is happening in the classroom. There is no confidence in self in the classroom where we talk about where the masses of the people attend. The parents, them don't know one hell. The teachers, them who should know, don't know. Because we're in a real serious dilemma, because look here now. Most of us first contact with Africa, and them don't teach in a school, is with the Bible. Now most youth in a Jamaica, if you try to connect the Bible with Africa to them see it as something way out. Oh, you gotta talk about Africa now, you talk about the Bible. Them think there's Rasta talk. And you see, when them say it's Rasta talk, them get turned off. Now a student is going to go to school, and them is going to invite Mutabaruka at them school. And Mutabaruka is going to go into that school and say, look here, how much people inside here do say Egypt was in Africa? And nobody in the school, including some of the teachers, never knows say Egypt in Africa. So, this student now is going to go home. And when the student go home, the student say, you know, guess who come to school today? Mutabaruka. And Mutabaruka tell me say, Egypt in Africa. And the parent is going to turn to the student and say, why are you listening to those boy? Them boy they don't know nothing, you know, foolish them I tell you. Cliffy, at that, the student is told that he must listen to me, you know. Don't listen to me because it's foolish. I choose me want the person, the brother turn Rasta. That's why I tell the people that, you know. So when the youth go home now, and this is him influence, you know, because me just a visitor at school now, you know. And when me going to tell the youth, say, watch a man, the me say, in all of you hearing about Africa, about Egypt, you never know, say, geographically Egypt in Africa. And them admit it. You see one night when I come and I say, I was talking to some, you see how the question come is because I was talking to some professionals, you know. Long before, I was talking to some professionals this month too. And the professionals, a youth, out of the whole of them, about 6 professionals along there, and I say, the brethren come and say, Muta, you know, since you say Egypt in Africa, because they didn't know say Egypt in Africa. And I was taken aback. Because I say, I mean, you can't understand that I'm a teenager. But when a man reach like 30, 35, and him in a big business, big job, and them thing they know, and him not know that. Yeah. then you know, say, why we have to rethink a whole heap of things. Alright. So me look on the youth now. When me come back on the radio now, a youth call me on the radio one night and say, Muta, you think say Uncle Imwan never know that? Me never know say Egypt in Africa until you said on the radio. Now this might sound like a simple little thing, you know. Yeah, alright, look here now. So me I go now, me I go try find out for myself now. If this thing is a ignorance in a Jamaica, in the whole month me find out say most Jamaicans don't know say Egypt in Africa. Most Jamaicans. Me put my head on the block for that now. Because me go through the school them, me go through the community them, and me ask the same question. How much people inside here so know where Egypt is?
Most land were mentioned in the Bible, they don't know say never heard.
Alright, so we know, so we come to the reasoning now about the teachers them, that our first connection with Africa is the Bible. But we never make the connection. We never make the connection in the Bible. Because them don't teach it like it's Africa right there. As a matter of fact, there's a whole heap of books is written about Egypt, you know, and them separate Egypt from Africa. You see? So historically, white people write say the Egyptians them different from the African people. That is what them write, you know. Egyptians different from Africans. And we should know say that is lie because a great man named Shekanti Diop come prove them wrong by using the same scientific method for tests, ear strands and facial impressions and everything there. For sure you say, well, right now, the Egyptians them was black people. Until the Arabs them go inside of Egypt. And the Ixos them go inside it so and start to shift up and move the whole of a shipment and movement. But it's not even that we want to talk about. We want to talk about how a student in school is totally disconnected. One, he disconnect himself from history. He put himself in a part of history that was interrupted, which is slavery. Slavery interrupt African history. Slavery is not African history. It interrupt African history. So now, we know that as history. So we connect with self. Because the first thing, you know, you hear them say, we were brought here as slaves. We, you know. This is the only time when black people mention we in connection, you know. Because it's slavery, them say, we were brought here as slaves. You see, we don't want to go back to Africa, you know, because we never come from Africa. But we were brought here as slaves. So the student is taught that is we that. But no, him, over the years, he must go to church. And the church have a big influence on him. And the church are telling about these different places in the Bible. But not one Sunday, the pastor will come out and say, I know the Garden of Eden was in Africa. Pharaoh. And the church have a big influence on him. And the church are telling about these different places in the Bible. But not one Sunday, the pastor will come out and say, I know the Garden of Eden was in Africa. Pharaoh, the pharaohs were kings in Africa. Them not saying that. So the lack of understanding and the connection is not there for a little youth who sit down and listen to this thing, including myself when I are youth. Because I never hear a preacher mention Africa pan a pulpit yet in relationship to myself and the connection that African people have with biblical places. So the student is left now with a total disorientation of self beyond 500 years. So beyond 500 years, there's no history of black people in the minds of the African people in Jamaica. So when you tell a youth, say, boy, you know, say, alright, hear the question where I asked them. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And I have to share it to the people them. The question when I asked the youth them, what you know about Egypt? They say, everybody put it, man, Egypt is a wicked place, sir. What you know about Pharaoh? Pharaoh is a wicked man like Prime Minister, sir. Right? Alright, so now. Pharaoh is, first of all, them never ever know that Pharaoh is not the name of an individual person, but it's a title given to the kings of Egypt. So them never ever know that. So when everybody go cross this all. You know, see, because we just want them get a consciousness of what we are dealing with now about Africa and geographically. So we're going to look on them now, we're going to say, how much people inside there know about geography? You know, one school we go, nobody inside there couldn't define what is geography. One school, and now I call the name of the school. One school, none of the people them could have defined what is geography. Alright. So, when we say, anybody inside there know geography? And we say, yes, sir. And them say, alright. So we're going to draw a map. So we draw a map. We draw a map of Africa. And to them now, it's like, why you bring up Africa in the Bible? You understand what I say, Cliffy? Why we bring up Africa in the Bible? Because it's when you start to put in the name them of the country them now, like Egypt, Northeast, and you come right down and you put in Ethiopia now, and you say, Ethiopia is not a Rasta thing, you know. So you mustn't believe, say, if I say Ethiopia now, it's because I am Rasta why I say Ethiopia. But the first identifiable country name in the Bible is Ethiopia. My old grandmother Bible. We have one heap of picture in there with the angel and Jesus and God and all them things there where Michelangelo paint. When you open it and it tell you about the Garden of Eden and the 4 rivers that encompass it, the river, the this and that, it mention Ethiopia. Maybe they have a different name now. Maybe they put Kush. And most people can identify Kush with Ethiopia. But those who know says Ethiopia that talk about still. Alright, so we hear about the 4 rivers and we hear about the rivers them. And now, because here the next question I ask the student them, I ask them, say, anybody ever hear about Iraq? Everybody say, yes sir. Bush invade Iraq. We say, alright, so they know something about Iraq. Anybody ever hear about Babylon? They say, yes sir, Babylon are police. Is that some little youth, you know? Babylon are police. We say, alright, where's you hear about Babylon? They say, well, Babylon, sir, are wicked people. Same like Egypt. So I say, anybody ever hear about Nebuchadnezzar? They say, yes sir, Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon. So I say, if Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon, and I say, Babylon was a place. Them never know that. And I tell them, say, look here, if you listen to the news carefully, on CNN and BBC, you will hear that a lot of the soldiers them enter Babylon in Iraq. So the next question I ask them now is, over here about Babel. You say, yes sir, the Tower of Babel. God confused the language of the people them. I said, did you know that Babel was in Iraq? The only reason why you don't know is Iraq, because it never did name Iraq at the time. Just like how Iran never did name Iran. But if you should get a map, because you used to have the map in the Bible, you know. They used to have the Bible land them in the Bible, you know. The geographical location, them old time Bible used to have it in her, right? But even though these places geographically was shown by picture in the Bible, the masses of the people never connect it. And them the person standing up on the pulpit never allow them to connect it. Because Africa is not supposed to represent anything outside of slavery. So we look on them now, we say, alright, did you know that the pharaohs, if it's African, it's black people. It's black people. It's not Caucasian people inhabit Africa. It's black people. And the Ethiopians went down into Egypt and occupied Egypt. So it's black people we are talking about. Alright. So we will show them now, say, well, most of the time when we think on Bible people, it's white people we think on. That is without a say, without doubt. My granny sit down on the veranda and she really believes that Jesus is a white man. She really believes that Moses is a white man. She really believes that Pharaoh is a white man. She can't connect no black nothing past slavery. most Jamaican people from the masses will read Bible and die for this Bible and sit down on them veranda right now at age 80, 70. Sit down. Don't connect these stories with Africa. Because all them know about Africa is that Africa is a place where wild people there, naked people run up and down, people eat people there, and then no white people bring them on here so and turn them in a slave. So we're trying to make the student now come out of that mindset. And the teacher must allow the student them to come out of that mindset before them can take them into something higher. Because this is now the biggest part of the pyramid. The basic part of the pyramid, where the student have to connect themselves in history. You have to make the student, just like what you tell them, say, that's why the student say, start up and say, we came here as slave. Him have to know, say, we build the pyramids. That is what the student have to know. The student say, we came here as slave. The student have to know, say, is we build the pyramids. The student have to know, say, is we invent mathematics. That is what the student have to know. You cannot disassociate these things from the African tradition. Because the Chinese man, no care how you hear the Chinese man say, I'm a Jamaican. I'm a Chinese man. And him no feel no way when they say China man. And him never go to China yet. Most of the Chinese people will take up residence in the ghetto. Chinese are the bravest of people in Jamaica. Because when anything go on, so them in a film community, them still there with them grocery shop. And them dead still, and them dead still. So the Chinese man is known as a Chinese in Jamaica without any apology. You have them Chinese Benevolent Society, appear Chinese people go there. And when the year done, them celebrated the house of the year of the cow, the year of the rat, the year of the donkey, the year of the this and the year of the that. Nobody feel any way when Chinese people celebrate them Chinese thing, even though them never got to China yet. The majority of Jamaican Chinese never got to China yet. But them know the language and them know how to celebrate. Them now celebrate things where them celebrate things where them come on and come learn, you know. But most of the time when Chinese celebrate, it's things that happen inside of China, you know. When them celebrate the New Year, you know. It's not Anya for them come create the New Year, you know. Them celebrate the New Year where them celebrate in a China. The Indian people is the same thing in a Jamaica. Indians celebrate Diwali. And nobody don't feel no way when the Indian them celebrate Diwali. When them Indians celebrate them this, when the Indians celebrate them that. You look on an Indian woman in a Jamaica, she will have on her same traditional outfit, and her little spot in her middle or forehead, and all these things, and them gold, and them nice, and them have them own name, and all these things. And you call them Indian. When I was a youth, you know, a pure Indian run Olympic gardens, you know. When them call Waterhouse, so now go right up the sun, you know, from 3 miles. Pan Olympic, we go right up in a pure coolie, them used to call them coolie. A pure coolie used to live at Olympic Gardens, you know, Rasta.
You used to watch them care coolie Hussein.
Yes. Okay. And them used to plant enough calalo out there. When you want Sunday morning, you see whole heap of black people going out there, coolie cut them calalo and a sell. But them know, so them are Indian. Them never go to China yet. Them never go to India yet. But we used to go buy rice down at Westmoreland. A pure Indian we go buy rice from, you know. A community of Indian in a Westmoreland. We just rice them plant and I rice them say. But you call them Indian. And them don't feel no way. You never hear your group on a Chinaman and say, boy, Chinaman. You never hear him say, don't call me no Chinaman, you know, me a Jamaican. You never hear a Chinaman say, don't call him no Chinese, yet him is a Jamaican. Likewise the Indian. The Indian keep that in him forever and ever. Amen. Jamaican black people is the only set of people that refuse to identify themselves with a landmass, where them ancestors, where them forefathers come from. Cause we see that landmass with bang belly picnic, flying a mouth, enough AIDS, enough epidemics, slavery, all sort of things, we see it all. So who want to connect with these things? Nobody no want to connect. If this is all that Africa has to offer, why should I associate with Africa? If Africa is a place of starvation, AIDS, starvation, and everything, I don't want to associate with it. But that is what I know. Now make a move beyond that. What is beyond that? Is there education in Africa? Is there, what is the history of Africa? Before Europe underdeveloped Africa, Africa was thriving before the first Portuguese ship got into Africa. Africa was on the move. And make a evil cause the Arab them. And the Arab them come inside of Africa and create a stable African society in the north and move going to Europe and culturize Europe. The Moors never did enslave the Europeans them, you know. Them help to build European culture. When the Europeans them did not use letter as number, the Moors them gonna go show them how to use number.
Surgery, read a book of themselves.
Imhotep.
Carlo Hans and sew back when they do surgery.
Yeah, them sew back the thing. But even if you see, you remember I don't know if you did see the documentary and how the Egyptian them preserve the body.
Yeah.
For a thing. Alright. So we look at the student and we say, student, look here now. If Pharaoh was black, then Moses was black too. So the student say, oh, you know that, sir? We say, I make a look on the story. Moses' mother take him and send him down this river. And who find him? Pharaoh's daughter. Pharaoh's daughter take him as her own and say, look you know. I'm going to tell you no handmaid say, anyone I don't know ever go out there and tell people say, I know my picnic. I'll be beheaded when I get beheaded. You know if you know that. Alright. So Moses grew up in Pharaoh's palace, believing that he was an Egyptian. And no one knew, included Ramesses, that Moses was an Israelite. So the logic is, if there was a difference in color between the Egyptians and the Israelites, Moses would have get her from him a picnic. Everybody that look, say, what is a jacket? Nobody can fear a picnic can look so say a fear a picnic. You know, to say the picnic are Israelite, him white. But not go say that the story. So we follow that logic right down to the T, you know. That the Israelites and the Egyptians was of one hue, one color. That is what we follow. And we follow the DNA and the genetic test that is tested by these people now. And we realize that the Egyptians were black people. So, the student must know that if the Egyptians were black people and the Israelites were black people, therefore they are connected to these people. They are connected. We have to teach them that look here, we are connected because this is the book that them give away. Them give you a Old Testament, them call it. The Christian them say a Old Testament. The Jew them say it's a Torah. And them show you geographically that there's certain things happening in this book that happen in certain places. And this is the book that the student them is familiar with. The student them is familiar with the Bible. Them familiar with Egypt. Them familiar with Babylon. Them familiar with Babel, Tigris River, Euphrates River. All of these places them familiar with. So it is now the duty of the teacher to connect geography with history. Because that is what is always presented. It is the stories as presented as historical and happening in a specific place. Geographical. So, you can't just teach history and now show the geography. Because the geography now will make the connection. Because the thing that are happening in Europe, and you say, well, you know, Moses and Pharaoh used to live in Europe. Right away, your imagery change. You know, see, if you didn't tell the man, say, boy, I don't know, say, Pharaoh come from China. And him name Mr. Yap. You think say anybody on your so would have any confusion in their mind? How Pharaoh look? If the Bible did say Pharaoh come from China, Rasta, and him name Mr. Yap or Mr. Chin, no confusion in a nobody mind how Pharaoh look. So why is it that because Pharaoh black, confusion must be in the minds of the people that who connected to Pharaoh? Or we get these craziness, where we get it from? How is it that nobody now go over this thing, you know, and it looks simple to a whole heap of people, you know? Because I say, well then, but this is a simple thing. Watch a man. Marcus Garvey say, a people without a knowledge of them history is like a tree without root, man. We have to go back. We have to step back, man, and look on the whole thing and realize, boy, we get caught in a quagmire where right now, them show you one thing and you accept it. And when you really open your eye wide, you realize, boy, this thing is not the real thing or the only thing, you know. Or the sum total of the thing, you know. Because there's other things there to know. So them give you 2 and hold back 1. Them give you 3 and hold back 2. Them give you 4 and hold back 3. So meanwhile you feel, say, boy, right, but look how much me get now. Yeah, you see, we are getting enough now, but you're not getting enough. Because you still say, we came here as slaves. But you can't say we build the pyramid.
It's like the same issue where you raise still, you know. Because you never look on it when you say, a man say God is a spirit. But when you say he, you know.
It put gender upon it. And you tell them, so what is he? You know, so when a brethren catch up in a car, me and my lady are reason to the brethren. And them say, yeah man, but you know, see the spirit. And she say, and me say, so what farm the spirit was in? He must say, the spirit never had no farm. He said, but you can't say something if it not have no farm. She said to him, no, you can't say something without farm. He said, yeah, you can't say something without farm. He said, but that is crazy. How can you see something and it don't have no farm? So for you say that spirit, it means it's you can't see it. But then no, if you say you see it, the question is, what farm was it in? You see, you can't separate farm from seed. You know, see, the idea of seed is because the thing is in farm. You know, see. So, look here, you try to go around it and come around it. From a man, say, see a spirit. What farm the spirit is in? It's simple. There's no go around and come around it. You can't tell me now, say, but the spirit never in a farm. Then, what you see? But you see something. It's either you see something, someone. You can't see somewhere. That can get crazy, you know, see it. So, the student get caught in a situation where, because the preacher, firstly, because I said before, I never hear a preacher get up on the pulpit yet, when I a youth. I never hear a preacher get up yet and mention the word Africa in my mouth. Never. And me go to Sunday school every Sunday when me a little picnic. And me go to Baptist church at Jonestown every Sunday when me there my granny. And me go to Roman Catholic Cathedral Church on Nard Street every Sunday when me there my mother. I mean never hear the word Africa come out of one of them out there. The only time me hear the word Africa is when me go watch a Tarzan show.
Jungle.
Yes. Because Tarzan show now, I show you a little white guy, we attack to animal them, and I kill enough alligator, enough hippopotamus, enough lion, and I kill some black people. And the black people them so passive, that this little white guy who don't come from England named Lord Greatstock could have wiped out a whole set of people, and I defend them against white people. This white guy, I defend him against white people. So you have this white man named Tarzan, you have this little youth named Boy, you have a woman named Jane, and you have a cheetah. So most of we identify now, not with the black people them in the movie, you know. We don't identify, we never yet identify with the black people them in the movie, even though it's for them place. It's for them land. But we never identify. Just like how we don't identify with the Native American them when we go watch Cowboy Show. We don't identify with them because we always know say the Indian them are going to get wiped out. Imagine what them call it, bandwagon, a wagon train, a move with about 50 people in there. And you know say a gun hold 6 bullets. And it's only about 5 man in this half gun, you know. And so it's 5 gun with 6 bullets. 5, 6 is a 30 that bullet, you know. And so you look on the inside, thousands of Indian in Rasta. And it's when the Indian them start charge. You see them 30 bullet there. It kill all 500 Lombard. I have prayer. Because when you see the Indian them are dead and a drop like fly, so you feel good enough. But you see, if one of them Indian there, if I throw a spear through one of them canvas and kill one little milky white woman inside it, so it's like the movies, it's like nobody now fire no shot round that area they get it up. Because them give the white man time to go over the woman and I tell her, say, oh, I'm this, that, and don't die and all that. Like no more bullet now, no more axe now fly around the middle. You know, see, right at that point in time, the war cease until him can make this pronouncement around him. But it's like a wicked thing. It's like, bad. Look how them just kill white woman, Rasta. No, so them wicked Rasta. Them just show the spirit and just kill white. And remember, say, thousands of Native American are dead out there, say, Rasta. And the one little white woman, the whole movie stopped. The action of the movie stopped just to come center right round now. This little woman were dead right as now for one spear. And you now see how much dozens, but it's 30 bullet kill so much, 30 bullet kill like 200-300 Indian, And we never yet associate the Indian them with America.